Thank you for your interest in charted approval automation. On your screen, we have a vendor bill. I am going to save the bill and put it through the approval process. Our approval automation can be quite dynamic. It can go off of the department, it can go off the dollar amount, it can be a combination of factors. As long as it's identified on the vendor bill, we can put our approval logic behind it, whether it's just department or if it's department and location. We can put that approval logic together here. We can also build approval logic based on line level data. So let's say this first line is Providence and the second line is Boston. We can have this transaction go to the Providence approver as well as the Boston approver. So we can make it go off the header level data up here or the line level data down here and make it pivot off of either batch of information here. And another outlier is that you don't need a full NetSuite license to be a part of the approval logic. All you need is an employee profile within your NetSuite environment, and you can utilize our email-based approvals and approve outside of NetSuite, sending that approval or rejection back within your NetSuite environment. And let me show you the email that the user would see or the approver would see in that instance here. All right. So Dan just received this approval notification, and in the approval notification, there'll be a copy of the PDF of the bill, as you see attached here. They can approve or reject via email. And then when it comes to the bottom of the screen, this is totally customizable. I've had prospects say, I don't believe the approver is going to open up the PDF. So we can add location here. We can add department, class, PO, product, region. You would let us know which fields you would want on the face of the email. So at least the approver has seen the relevant fields in order to make an accurate approval or rejection decision. All right. And then I will super approve the first step in the approval process. So the super approver in your environment has the ability to supersede the approval logic or just push the approval one step in the process here. So I'm just going to push it one step here just to show you that we support multi-step approvals, whether that's 3 or 4 steps, whether that's 9 or 10 steps. I have done that on previous implementations here. All right, so it moved over to the second step in the approval process. The first step was going to Dan, who was a department level approver. And then the second step is an approval group. And it went out to 3 users here. And we could take a look at one of those email notifications. All right, so this one went out to Ethan here, and same setup as terms of the email notification, but you also notice in the approval history that when he gets notified for the second step approval, oh, Akeem approved it earlier, will be right in their face, and my comment is testing, but it could be looks good or all set. Whatever the commentary I left with my approval would be transparent to the next level approver. And now Ethan feels more confident in his approval or rejection by seeing my approval down here as well. All right. Along with our approvals, we do have an approval request audit trail. So if you guys are subject to audit and they want to know who approved which transaction, what step in the process, what time of the day, we have an audit trail that will just record those things as they happen within your environment. We also do offer out of office delegation. So let's say I'm going to be out next week from the 1st to the 5th. I want Amelia to be my approver in my absence. Everything that would come to myself would still come to myself, but they would go to Amelia on per my request via this out of office approval delegation, and she will be able to approve on my behalf. And then on the 6th of December, everything would revert back to me here. All right. And then we also do offer bulk approval. The case for bulk approval is that you would be able to approve a lot of transactions in a small amount of time. The case against it, you don't actually have to review the transaction in question here. We do have the ability to limit the accessibility to only be an accounting manager, a controller, an AP manager, or you don't have to use it at all, but it would be available to you here as well. And then the last piece of our approvals that I'll show you according to our vendor bills is that you will have this dashboard where you'll have the bills to review. So those are the bills that are in the queue waiting to be created. You'll have your bills to submit. Those are bills that have been saved but aren't in the approval process. And then you have your bills to approve, and those are the bills that are in a pending approval status. Now, for those bills that are in a pending approval status, you would have the ability to set up an auto reminder. So you would let the consultant know, I want to give the approvers 2-day grace period or maybe a 3-day grace period. And then after that time period has lapsed, we'll start sending out reminders, letting them know that there are outstanding transactions waiting for their approval. Approvals aren't limited to the vendor bill record type. You can put them on a vendor record, purchase order, subsidiary, location, item receipt. A lot of opportunities to streamline that approval process, as well as journal entries. Very flexible, very dynamic